What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ahvemovieguy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to play dirty. And this is a new Amazon title, but it would be really fun to play dirty or talk dirty. Yeah, I should do a whole channel of that. This is Shane Black's new movie, and I was excited for that. I was a little like, why don't we send a Shane Black movie to theaters? We probably should do that. I know we don't. Mark Wahlberg is pretty content in just doing things that go straight to streaming nowadays, and man, he's really bad at picking projects. But that should have been my red flag here. But I had hope that Shane Black was going to craft something that was interesting. He's using the Parker character here, which I think the last time we saw this was the Jason Statham version of it. Um, Again, there are a lot of red flags here that I ignored to get to the point of play dirty, but it's now here. It's on Amazon. It has audio description, and it has a supporting cast ranging of everybody from Rosa Salazar and Lakeith Stanfield, Tony Shalhoub, Keegan Michael Key. I don't know. There's some other people in here, but that's enough. Um, and yes, it has its requisite Shane Black Christmas rope, and although it's not quite a Christmassy movie, I wish he would just straight up do one again. Like just bring it, Shane. Just bring the Christmas. You know, we've had these movies like Red One that have just been like straight up Christmas movies, and I don't know. Shane's got to do something that is better than this and set at Christmas time, and really just owns it. Just owns it. Uh, I This is not great. This is just not a good movie. I'm sorry. It's for those who wanted it. It's a heist movie. So Mark Wahlberg plays Parker, who at the beginning of the film is in the middle of a heist that does not go well, and he's betrayed and loses like every member of his crew, and narrowly escapes death himself, and then goes after the one that betrayed him, who it turns out is planning an even bigger heist. I know that's like kind of spoilery, but that is actually what the movie's about. So she's got an even bigger heist in mind, and it involves stealing sunken treasure before some I don't know, the dictator of her unnamed country steals it, and I'm shocked that Shane Black directed this. I don't know if he read the screenplay. I don't know if he touched it. I don't know what happened to this film, but this film is a mess. Like, it doesn't even, like, from a storytelling standpoint, it's not fun, it's not interesting, it's a little convoluted, and it is not a little structurally garbled. Structurally garbled. It just, I was like, what is this movie about? Is it a revenge plot? They don't do enough of establishing the characters. I think what would have worked for this film, and you can't just assume that people have seen previous parts, because we keep changing like the thing of Parker. It's not based on a specific novel. It's based on sort of the idea of Parker. It's like taking, which would be like taking, I don't know, the Lincoln Lawyer and making like a Lincoln Lawyerish movie, but not really with any of the stuff from the book and just letting people go. I mean, they kind of did this with like the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones, right? They took the characters from Song of Ice and Fire and just finished out the series, but they didn't have any source material. So I think this is what happens when you take like a character and you just kind of go, well, I know the character well. I feel like I could write something using the character, or maybe not. Maybe you couldn't. Maybe that's not possible for everybody. Maybe that's a thing that doesn't exist in everybody's wheelhouse, including Shane Black. Um, so Yeah, this needed a who are these people? This needed a little bit more of a historical trip down memory lane as to why people didn't like each other. Tony Shalhoub pops up as this character that has a past with Mark Wahlberg's Parker that is just vague. There are characters that pop in and out of this movie, and they everything feels like that you've stumbled into like a sequel to something, or you're like in the second or third season of a TV show and you're like, did I watch the previous? It all feels like this is like in progress, and you're just like, okay, what? So structurally thinking about Ocean's 11, Steven Soderbergh's Ocean's 11, much better film, really nails the whole character introduction thing. It has style, it has substance. It in and of itself, it's a remake, but it did an excellent job of highlighting what it needed to. You knew why everybody was there. You knew what it was that they wanted, what the objective was, what the goal was. Uh, Everything played well in that movie, and even the sequels, while not quite at the same level as the first film, are strong sequels. So that whole trilogy is better. Ocean's 8 does a better job of this same sort of idea than what Play Dirty does. Play Dirty just kind of it feels like a film that failed to start. It feels like a film that um got made and then people didn't it didn't test well, and they were like, well, what do we do with it? Streaming, you know, kind of like The Pickup, which Amazon thrust upon us earlier this year with Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson. Films that aren't like necessarily sins unto men. Like there are definitely far worse films I've seen this year, but films that are so problematic that they would require heavy amounts of reshoots or a completely new script. Films that couldn't possibly test well. I'm sure Amazon showed War of the Worlds to some sort of test audience and they died. And so Amazon was like, oh shit, our movie kills people. We should bury this on Prime. Um, has not been a great year for Amazon, although Heads of State has fans. So I'm not one of them, but I will acknowledge that it has fans. I'm always fair. I can't imagine Play Dirty has fans because it just means you haven't seen a Shane Black movie. It just means that the little dusting of Shane Black that you get here is has sparked your interest. It's like it's like never having chocolate, and your first chocolate is like an M&M, and you're like, oh my god, I love chocolate, and you're like, girl, you need to we gotta get you some more chocolate. Like that was basic chocolate. I think that was even an off-brand M&M. I don't know. uh, so yeah, inherently your first taste of chocolate is like, oh wow, that was amazing. That was different. But there's a whole world to explore beyond that. And with Shane Black, that is absolutely true with his filmography. If this is the first Shane Black thing that you're seeing and you think this is good, I would like for you to hold that expectation, pull up IMDb, and go watch literally anything else he's ever done, including Predators, or the Predator, whatever he did, the one with Keegan Michael Key. That is better than this, and that's not a great movie. So I would, of course, prefer that you watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which he wrote and directed. But if you even just want to substantially enjoy some of his writing only movies where somebody else is directing his script, I would approve of that because he is a strong writer. This, I don't know what happened here. This is not good. It's weird. Uh, Mark Wahlberg is boring. He feels miscast. There's no charisma here. This is a role that needs like a George Clooney. It doesn't get that, which is why I was thinking about the Danny Ocean thing. I was like, this needs somebody with way more charisma than what we're giving here. And Mark Wahlberg seems to be trying to avoid his Wahlbergisms, which just kind of sucks the life out of him. And he's done so many shitty streaming movies at this point that I think the feedback he must be getting has him just inside of his head wondering, at this point, if I was his agent, I would be pulling him from movies and trying to find him just like a streaming series, just where he can play one character over the course of a run, sort of like what Schwarzenegger just did for Netflix, but better. That's what I would be trying to do. Find him a foobar where he can just do that thing for a couple seasons and he doesn't have to worry about find something that plays to his strengths like Fubar did for Schwarzenegger, and just hope that it's better than Fubar, you know. But this is, yeah, I don't know. A cast prize, maybe Lakeith Stanfield is trying to milk his role for something, but he plays an actor who's trying to like always find like the role. He's the actor of the group, the one that so always trying to find his character, which is like mildly entertaining, but they don't do enough with it. Uh, it's just, but Lakeith has a way of delivering lines in a very dry manner without needing to put too much into it that are that helps. So in a script setup like this where nothing's really happening, his dry delivery comes across as being it can get kind of lost in the motion, but he has a way of delivering a line, but it's always his way of delivering that line. Like he would have take that line out and he would have delivered that line the same way in 20 other projects. And so he's just doing the same thing here that he always does. Most people here are phoning it in. Even I don't know, Tony Shalhoub is the villain is just kind of an odd choice. I feel like he's been bigger. He's gone bigger before. So I don't really have much nice to say about Play Dirty. It's not the worst film I've seen this year. Again, Amazon has made sure that no other film can own that title because they produced War of the Worlds. So it's really hard to say I like anything. I've got that and I have a Tyler Perry movie this year. And I honestly, flipping a coin between those two movies as to which film I hated more made me physically ill. One of those two films did it, but this Play Dirty is just, I never want to see it again, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad because I was legitimately excited for Shane Black, and when this movie came across the table, I was like, well, Mark Wahlberg feels like I could see that happening. And then you see, when you go through the opening credits, you've got the Downeys, Robert Downey Jr. and his wife are on as producers, and you're like, this like functionally should work. Why doesn't it? Like, why doesn't this film work? And I've long had a feeling about streaming movies that they just don't get the kind of feedback, that streamers aren't invested in running them through the same test audiences, that they, that it's just content creation for them. That it's just, well, we got to have a new movie up this month. What's it going to be? What's the sacrificial lamb for the month? And when you take people who are actually auteurs who benefit from feedback and from seeing their film play in front of an audience and then seeing what works and what doesn't work, I can't imagine that this was tested. I can't imagine it tested well. And then if it didn't test well, I think what Amazon did was, well, we're not spending any more money on it, so we're just going to release it as is. So, sorry, Shane, your movie's just going to go die on Prime. This is not a good movie, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. So it's one of my least favorite films of the year. I was bored out of my mind. Like, the more this movie moved on, the plot was just, what? I didn't understand the choices. There is like one cool scene theoretically with horses and cars. I am a little bit hesitant to say because I heard that looks very green screen from the sided critics. So when I think about something that's a very action-heavy visual effects sequence and I'm about to give it praise, oftentimes I try to gauge what, and I've heard it does not look good. So, like, theoretically, it's one of those things that looks good, but it's also apparently one of those parts of the films that's a little underfunded. So, there's that. I mean, the audio description was fine. The audio description is probably the best thing about the damn movie. It doesn't do anything exceptional, but you don't really need to with this movie. Somebody just needed to come in here and do like a perfectly competently uh well produced audio description track, and suddenly that's the best part of the movie because nothing here is competently well produced and done. There's nothing here that stands out. There's nothing to remember. I will completely have forgotten this film. This is like last year's Killer Heat with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This is just like a forgettable Amazon movie that years from now I'll be like, did I see that? What's that about? And anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.